It's been a while, sorry about that guys, it's stuff, but I had an inspiration, I thought I should share it. I'm going to attempt to demonstrate heel callus using a measuring jug, a balloon which I have spray painted, which, as my daughter pointed out, does very much resemble a booby, and a pint of beer. So, the fat pad around your heel and under your heel is a viscoelastic unit. What that means is basically it's a hydraulic cushion. What that means is it's a ball of gunk. And you've got your heel bone in the middle of it, which pushes down in the centre of the ball of gunk, like so. And then the fat pad absorbs shock and stress through the heel. Now, if you look at a gait scan of a heel on the ground, what you will always see is that the peak of the pressure is right under the centre of the heel. But you never find the main problems with callus in the centre of the heel. You find the problems with callus around the borders of the heel. Sorry. Right, professional. The problem with callus is always around the borders of the heel, and that is usually where the skin is thicker and where it's split. There's two things I want you to think about there. One is that we know that callus produces faster, so the skin turnover is faster when there are inflammatory cytokines. So the area which produces more skin more quickly and therefore more callus will be the area under the greatest stress, which suggests that the area of greatest stress is not in the middle, it's around the border. So let's see if we can line this up. If I put that on the ground like that, and I push down in the middle to simulate weight bearing, what you'll see is that the cracking all happens around the borders. So that's pretty much the pattern you get with heel callus. But it won't be cracking in the middle, it'll only be cracking around the borders. So what's happening is when you put the heel on the ground, the tissue is stretching, the tissue is deforming, but because the callus, the stratum corneum, is thicker and cannot stretch, it splits, and that's where we're getting our heel fissures. Now, there's a couple of ways that you can get around the vexed problem of cracking stretchy boobies. One would be to make this skin thinner or more elastic, more capable of stretching. And the ways you could do that would be to reduce it, manually debride it, or use a moisturizer with something like urea in it, which will thin it down, and that will also enable it to be stretchier. If we'd used a PVA paint, a rubberized paint, if we'd covered our booby heel in rubberized paint, then it would have been able to stretch. It wouldn't have done that. The other way would be to use the equivalent of the jug. Because if you have a container for the heel, so when you put your heel pad in and you push it down, it can only go so far. It will stretch only as far as it allows it to stretch. Now, this is obviously not a round bowl, that would have been ideal, but you can see it's stretching a good deal less if I do that than if I do that. So putting a heel in a heel cup helps to prevent that skin from stretching as far and helps to prevent it from fissuring. You could also achieve the same effect with strapping if you contain the heel with strapping. So take-home messages from this, apart from that I am horrendously immature, is that the heel viscoelastic pad is stretchy. The skin, when it becomes calloused around the borders of the heel, is less stretchy, so that when you compress it, it splits. So our solution to that problem is to either make the skin on the outside, the stratum corneum, more elastic, either by making it moister or by making it thinner, or to contain it within a heel cup, in which case it just can't stretch as far. I do apologise.